This is a yard car. It doesn't go out on the road anymore. It does work around the yard. It's got a solar battery maintainer. It's got chains on the wheels. It's got a hoist and a winch. And it has a welder. But what it doesn't have is a generator. And that's what we're going to do today. Well, maybe not entirely today. This is going to be a multi-part series. The first part is going to be me disassembling and figuring out what I'm going to need, what modifications I'm going to need to make to get this gen set that somebody gave me taken apart and reconfigured to go under the hood of this vehicle. I did consider buying a short block to repair this generator. Somebody let the rod out, but what's the fun in that? Step one in this process is going to be removing the generator head from the generator. And I think I'll start by pulling the panel off the tank to make some room and figure out how these two are connected. And here you can see the issue. Oh! This chassis might make a good cart for my new welder. Yeah, so that goes all the way through into the crank. From the way this is constructed, it looks like I have to take off the main part of the generator to get to the bolts that hold this end cup to the engine. Okay, I think we've separated the two. Whenever I junk a car, I always save the jack. They are so useful for things like this. Oh, there's a grounding wire. So here's our generator head, and interestingly, there's no bearing on this side. The engine main bearing is the bearing for this side of the generator head. So we're going to have to see if we can extract that component to make this work. So if that's the case, we need this part of the crankcase too. And of course, part of the crankshaft. Need the big gun. Oh, there was some oil in there after all. All right, hopefully that keeps most of it off the floor. I buy the blue rags so I can wash them in the washing machine. Well, at least now we can get a look at the carnage. Yeah, that's broken. There's the end of the rod. Rod bolts. Yeah, that really came apart. So the bearing that's in the outside of the crankcase is actually a engine bearing. So it has a forced oil feed to it. So we're not going to be able to use that running the generator off a pulley. So we're probably going to have to replace that with a ball bearing of some sort, but we may use this plate or I may just machine a new plate for that. Regardless, I am going to need the crankshaft out of this because this will form the outer shaft of the generator assembly. So I have to get this out. Okay, there's our crank. So it looks like what we're going to be doing is putting this part back on, and then the crankshaft in here, and then making a plate with a ball bearing to hold this, and we'll cut this off and mount a pulley to the end of the shaft, and that should give us a generator we can install under the hood of the yard car. So I'm going to need to fabricate a plate for this, and I ordered a bearing that'll fit on that shaft. It was about $10 on Amazon. So our next step is going to be to cut this shaft off right here, and looks like they didn't grind out this entire shaft. So hopefully when I cut it off here, the bearing will fit on from this side. I may need to clean that up a little bit on the lathe. So let's take this to the bandsaw and cut it off. Cast iron cuts like butter. Okay, I'm going to warm this bearing up a little bit before I try to put it on. Yeah, it's probably about 100, 120 degrees now. Oh yeah, that definitely... Oh, that is a perfect fit. So when they were the same temperature, I couldn't get that on, and now it's a nice tight fit. Let's see. So we need to fabricate a faceplate for this. I think I found my faceplate. I thought at first I could use the flywheel from the engine. It has enough meat on it, but there's a lot of material removal to be done to make it useful. So I went out to the warehouse, and this is one of the castings for the drive pulley for my engine-driven welder project. I had done several of these. This one, you can see it came out very porous and has some of these little beads in the grooves, so I didn't feel that this could be cleaned up and used for that project because it was going to be spinning at several thousand RPM. But as a bearing plate for the generator, I think this will be just fine. It's large enough around so that I can machine a feature on it to fit in here, and the pocket is just a little bit smaller than the pocket I need for this bearing, so that will be pretty easy to clean out. So next steps are to start cleaning this up on the lathe. So this locates the face of this plate, and this bearing needs to sit about 1/8 of an inch down from this surface, which means my pocket for the bearing is going to be pretty much the thickness of this entire plate. So I'm going to go ahead and establish that bore, and I'll make a retaining plate to go on the outside. I think to attach this piece, I'm just going to put some 1/4-20 bolts around the inside. Okay, and here's our final assembly. Our spacer, a shaft, bearing, and our end cap. And there is our generator, ready to go into the car. I'm going to leave this shaft loose for now, because I'm going to have to make that keyway a little deeper, and probably going to have to drill a hole in the end for a bolt to hold the pulley on, but I don't know what that pulley looks like yet. But that's it for part one. We've got our generator together, ready to go in the car, and that will come in part two. Part two may take a little while because I need to make some bracketry to hold this under the hood, and the tool that's going to be really useful for making that bracketry is my CNC plasma cutter, which is not quite done yet. And there will probably be a video on the CNC plasma cutter before we're putting this into the car. But that's it for now, and part one. See you for part two.